Hey guys, I'm out here in the woods where there's no people. Sometimes I need to take a little break from the interwebs where so many people think they know so many stuffs, and it gets real frustrating because people like to try to educate me about stuff I've been studying since before they were born sometimes, and since they were knee-high to a grasshopper, and since I was walking up and down hills both ways to school. And I'm like researching stuff before you ever heard of it. I know everything there is to know about it, and you're trying to teach me about it. It's boring. It's annoying. You don't know who you're talking to. Know your audience, okay? Alright, so I'm out in the woods, and one of the things I do as part of my career, I don't know what to call it, when people ask me what I do, I say, do you want the list of things that I don't do? Because it's shorter. I don't even like the question, what do you do? Because I know when people ask you, what do you do? They're asking, where do you go 40 days a week to get a paycheck? And I don't do that because I am a master manifester. I learned how to create my own reality, reading books that were made before The Secret, before the Law of Attraction, before Eckhart Tolle was even a blip, before we ever heard of Byron Katie, before you guys ever even had an inkling of what the Illuminati might be, which you don't know, trust me. I already knew all that stuff. I'm as old as mud. I know you can't tell sometimes because I eat raw vegan and I'm super healthy and I look younger than I am, and I don't want to say that too braggingly or proud because I do look sort of old. I am getting crow's feet. I have my polarized sunglasses on. Can you see my crow's feet? Because they make the woods look really cool. And also I'm uber sensitive to light. One of the things people don't know just by looking at me is that I am so sensitive to reality. I can taste your perfume from across the room. Any lights that are overhead that aren't the sun, because I do love the sun, they bother me to a degree that would be like nails on a chalkboard to anyone normal, I guess. I don't know what normal is, but assuming from how people act in the world compared to how I feel other people's emotions. I feel other people's energy fields. I see people's energy fields. I can tell you what's wrong with you just by being in the same room as you. And these things come from a place that is bigger than this body. And because we're trained from the time that we're old enough to comprehend anything to tune out like 90% of the information in this world, most people don't access what I access on a regular basis. This doesn't make me feel like I'm better than you. It doesn't make me feel entitled. In fact, most of my life it's been a huge frustration, especially when I was a teenager, like having other people's emotions like hang on to you to the degree you don't even realize that they're not yours. I didn't know that for most of my life, that the emotions I was having weren't my emotions. They were just the emotions of the people around me. And I grew up in a kind of fucked up family, so that was pretty hard. And then, knowing stuff that other people don't know, like there have been times in my life where I was so dialed in that I could hear someone's self-conscious tape recording just going. the things that happened to them when they were little, the things that happened to them throughout their life. I could see why they were sick because of what they were thinking. I could see why they were eating what they were eating even though it was awful. I could see why they were drinking and smoking and using drugs and trying to tune it out. Even though they didn't know it was happening, it was there playing in their mind over and over and over again. And they might have thought that they weren't affected by it anymore, but they were. I could see it physically happening to them. And I could see how every action that they were taking related to what they were doing at that moment. So when I say I don't feel like I'm better than you because I'm tapped into these abilities, because I know that you could also be tapped into these abilities. But it's frustrating that you're not. And that's a challenge. And it's something I've been working on my whole life, is patience, compassion, and understanding for the fact that people aren't experiencing a vast majority of the information that's available to them. I'm going to try something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try to break this stream of conscious conversation, like I do, into pieces, because I know that people they can't handle as much of me as I can give off in a video. Like 15 minutes is too much. I'm going to try to keep it under 10. So I have a lot to talk about, because a lot of people have frustrated me this week with their ignorant attempt to teach me things I already know. And it's always the same fucking shit they say. You need to do your research so you can understand what I'm talking about. And I'm like, no, bro. I already understand what you're talking about, and I've already unlearned those misunderstandings through hard effort, through hard-won self-introspection, research, from God, just changing everything, trying to get to the bottom of why everything is so fucked up and why we feel like shit. And I cracked a lot of the pieces of the puzzle. I'm still putting the puzzle together. I think if I had already put it together, I wouldn't be here. So trust me to tell you that I don't think I'm enlightened or all-knowing or the super highly evolved Buddha or anything. I just know a lot of stuff because I've done a lot of work. And I've learned and unlearned a ton of shit because I wanted to know about stuff from the time I was little. When most people were trying to acclimate to the concept of making friends and fitting in, I was way past that shit. I was like 5 years old seeking out the adults because they knew stuff and kids didn't know anything. It was just like my whole life has been watching the blind leading the blind, and it's still happening. It goes on into adulthood. Nobody knows what the fuck. So we have to dig deeper into anything that we want to know about. It takes so much desire to know the truth to actually find the truth. And then when you start to tap into the actual truth instead of the fake truth you've been milk-fed your whole life because the system has you brainwashed right where it wants you, then you tap into this wealth of understanding, and once you do that, you become something different. You become more like an antenna to the universe, and then when you know that you have these abilities that most people aren't using, when you understand what they are, you work on using them, and you work on refining them, and you work on retuning them, fine-tuning them, and you become the what do I want to say? I'm looking for a metaphor. You become the goblet that the universe fills with wisdom. And all you have to do then is just ask, and it's given. And this is so true, and people talk about it like it's, you know, a catchphrase or something, but it's reality. You are the universe, and you can make reality happen. You are the thing that makes it all surround you, and we're all part of it. We're all doing our own little ones, and you can be on autopilot, or you can fine-tune yours and make it how you want it to be. And so this is why I call myself a master manifester, because I'm very aware of the fact that I create reality, so I attempt to skew it into my favor as much as possible. And I want to teach other people about this, but some people think they know, so they don't listen. And I'm getting real tired of talking to you like you're a wall. I'm talking to someone in my head, which is retarded. It's retarded. Raw foods, baby. I'm gonna end every video with this. If you want to be a master manifester, you need to eat raw foods.